What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to be going over our latest addition to the collection. So no, we did not go out and purchase this one. Luckily, it was like a sign from God. It was a trade, and I think I came out on top. Y'all will have to leave it down below in the comments what you think. I don't necessarily like parting with any of my guns, really. But I want to maybe make a video and touch on, safe queens or whatever. Maybe they're not a safe queen, but maybe it's just a firearm that's been sitting in the back of your safe that you either don't have a purpose role for, or maybe you just haven't picked it up in a while. And there's a good chance if you won't miss it that you could turn that into something that you will absolutely love. So we ended up getting in contact with this guy, and we ended up trading our Hellcat Pro and our EPS carry for this. So yes, I am down an awesome red dot and a very reliable handgun. I carried the Hellcat Pro for 2 years. It's a great gun. I just have realized that I've kind of found what I like and what I've really been searching for and wanting to try. And so we've been trying to consolidate, and if it's in my collection, I love it. You know what I mean? It's not just, oh, I like it. I love it. So that's kind of where we're at. But we won't talk too much. We'll kind of give some backstory on why I wanted the gun, talk a little bit more about the trade and just the gun itself. But here we have the CZ P01 Omega. So a little bit of oil in there, but this was a part of the trade. Also, let's go ahead and get it out. This right here, this O-Light, it was on the gun. I took it off, and it's sitting on my 19X currently. That's where we're putting it for now. I think it looked better, obviously, on the 19X than on an all-black gun. But, I mean, this in the trade really sweetened the deal. Also, the fact that it came with lock grips. So these are the rubberized grips that come on it. I wouldn't mind putting them back on and giving them a shot. But really, I don't think we will. These are the thin bogeys by Lock, which I wish they had the palm swell, which might be the only reason we do try these, is just to sort of try the palm swell versus the thin. As you can see, these guys are thin, not really any palm swell. But I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, this is the most ergonomic gun I've ever held. And that's what really attracted me to this gun. And why I really wanted to go through with this deal is I've been searching for this gun for a decent price for over 2 years now at this point. I remember, really it was about 2, 3, 4 years ago when I was obsessed with the thought of owning a CZ. And fast forward, I have the P07. Don't have as many rounds on that as I'd like to, but this will definitely just push us to, I mean, we love our Glocks, but Glocks and CZs, you know what I'm saying? That's really our bread and butter. But anyways, I was with one of my friends. We were going around different shops, just checking out different things, looking at prices, not really particularly hunting anything. And I believe I'd never seen one of these in a store or in person. And so I was like, I really got to talking to the guy in one of these small mom and pop shops, and I was like, you know, let me hold that P01 if you don't mind. And as soon as I put it in my hand, I was like, oh man. And as soon as I presented it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need me one of these one day. And this is the Omega model. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but as soon as I held it and just presented it, I don't know if y'all can tell just by looking at it if you've never held a CZ, but this is one of the cream of the crop grips, especially coming from Glocks. I'm not someone who complains about Glock ergonomics or anything like that, but I'll go ahead and show clear. This does have the decocker installed. It did come with the safety. Anyways, I've never been one to shit on Glocks for ergonomics, but this just takes it to a whole new level. This is the most ergonomic pistol I've held. And I knew that from holding this years ago, like I said, but the P07, actually owning it, I was like, yeah, I need to get my hands on a P01 eventually. I just could never find one for the right price. Everywhere around me wanted over $800, and to order one, it would still be, I believe, either right around $8 or maybe a little less. You know, it was just never really in the cards. And when this opportunity presented itself, it was like I said, a sign from God. I couldn't almost even believe it, in a sense. I believe this was a humongous upgrade. No shame, no knock to the Hellcat Pro. I love the Hellcat Pro thoroughly. You know, I just in the 3 years or whatever I owned it and carried it for 2, I could never perform absolutely the way I wanted to with that gun. It was reliable. I trusted just as much as a Glock or a CZ or anything like that. The reliability is 100% there. I didn't enjoy shooting it as much, or wasn't able to perform up to the standard, but accuracy and reliability wise, it's amazing. So no knock to the Hellcat Pro, but I think I would have been stupid not to say yes to this deal. Dude, I forgot exactly what he said his line of work was, but he was carrying this and getting it all greasy and dirty every day, and he was like, you know, I really don't want to do to this firearm anymore. And he got a great setup out of it, a great everyday carry setup out of it. We'll go ahead and show y'all the trigger. So here we'll the single action. So this is a hammer fired double single action. I believe it was first produced in 2003. So this gun has been on the map for a while. This has the Omega trigger system in it, like I mentioned, which essentially is also in my P07, which is great. Very similar triggers on both guns, if not the same exact feeling triggers. So we'll go ahead and show you all the single action, if I can talk today. Absolutely crisp, light, probably right at around 3-ish or so pounds, 3-4 pounds. And then the double action's probably closer to 8 to 10. And there you go. It's very smooth. I'll give y'all one more look at that. There's decocking it into double action, which makes it a lot more safer for your junk. If you're carrying appendix carry, which we might start carrying the P01 and the P07 after we get some rounds downrange with more hammer-fired guns. I think this will be the perfect opportunity to do that, because they feel so good in the hand, and just the triggers do feel great on them. Just practicing through this double single action trigger that is very crisp, like I said, very smooth, not really gritty, but it's a very heavy, long trigger. So you're able to really test your fundamentals here, and if you're flinching, you'll know. This gun, it's a very accurate shooter for a lot of people. From what I've heard, CZs just shoot very well for people due to being very low bore axis due to the internal slide rails. But the triggers, the double action triggers, you know, they are not always forgiving. but the ergonomics are very forgiving in itself. So magazine release in a great spot. I don't know if we touched. Came with 2 mags. I believe they have 14 round mags, but these came with 15 round mags, so it has the little bit of a base pad. The 14s sit flush, and then they also have, I believe, 16 round mags. So almost any way you want to carry. I know a lot of CZ mags can be, let's see, can be interchangeable in itself. Like a P07, almost all the CZ mags will run in the P07. That's not necessarily the case with this guy, so don't quote me, but some CZ mags will work. CZ has a lot of interchangeability in that regard, so that's really cool. But it does come, I believe these are night sights, but the tritium is just so almost dead on them. So in that regard, we're probably going to end up switching them out. But I always was told that CZs were just for hipsters and just all that. I'm telling y'all, get some of these in your hands. I really want to give the P10 series a chance eventually, and we will over time. But I mean, I can't really say much, man. This is the pinnacle for me. I'm so excited. I'm stoked on this trade. I think I really made out like a bandit, truly. So I know this gun's like a little heavier. I believe mid 20s or so, around there, maybe upper 20s when loaded or whatever it is. It's an all aluminum frame gun, so it might be a little heavier than its polymer frame counterparts. I believe it is a smaller overall profile than the P07, which is nice. We didn't bring it out here to compare it, but maybe we'll do a video sort of showing some comparisons in that regard. But going off just feel and aesthetics, obviously I can't go off shootability. This thing feels and looks a million times better than the P07. Not a million times better looks-wise, but in the hands, this, I didn't think it could get much more ergonomic than the P07 in a lot of ways, but this really takes the cake. It is just perfect. And I'd love to get some palm swells. Probably we'll try these to see if maybe we want to order some palm swell grips. But these bogies feel great. They look pretty good too. I like the texture of them. I don't know how it would be for carry, but for just grip, as far as like just getting a good firm purchase on the firearm, I love them. So the Omega has a different hammer and, like I said, trigger system. You can be the judge if it's better than the standard P01 trigger system. I don't know yet. I can't wait to just get some rounds down range through this guy. We could very well be carrying a CZ in the future. Right now, I don't see myself changing anytime soon, but along down the line, if we get a holster set up and really get used to a double single action trigger, I think we might try and give this and the P07 a shot at carry. Like I said, a lot more trigger time, but I wouldn't just add this necessarily to the rotation with the 26 or 19, because those guns are so familiar, and this one just isn't in a lot of ways, just because of not only the ergonomics. I don't care that it's more ergonomic, just I'm not used to the trigger system yet, and that's my own fault. But going back to back from a striker to a hammer it would take some time. I would need some more time, arguably, behind both to really make that happen. So we'll stick to our strikers for now, carry-wise, and just enjoy shooting these at the range. But I know for appendix carry, holding down the hammer and holstering, that way you can't have any negligent discharge, is a huge plus and a huge sort of peace of mind when it comes to a carry gun. So I know CZs might not be for everyone. I understand. If you haven't giving them a look, I highly recommend you do so, because just I personally really think they are the cream of the crop when it comes to ergonomics and also reliability. I mean, they're up there with Glocks. I believe the 17 and the P01 are like the two top pistols to pass NATO testing. And there's a lot of extensive handgun testing in that regard. But I would say the NATO is one of the most and more extensive. So this gun is dead bones reliable, very, very ergonomic, sweet trigger. What's more to like about it? Super customizable with the grips. You don't just get a stupid back strap. And being all aluminum just has a premium feel. So, like I said, comment down below what you think of the deal. Do you think I made out like a bandit? What do you think? Would you have done the trade? Comment down below. But like and subscribe. I'll check you on the next one. Take it easy.